Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick, and this is Premarket Info.
And I'm Joel Elconin. On today's show, we will discuss the night trading aftermath. The stock falls 30% on a rogue algorithm. Many stocks affected, including Pepsi, Radio Shack, Verizon, BBY, and JWF, a Wells Fargo preferred. Bristol Myers suspends study of a hepatitis C drug, may benefit Gilead. Earnings from General Motors and First Solar, and we'll preview earnings tonight from LinkedIn, Kraft, and AIG.
What a crazy morning that was yesterday with the whole night algorithm. I didn't know what was happening from 9:30 to 10 o'clock. I guess there was 146 stocks affected, but it was absolutely crazy, Joel.
Yeah, it just proves the point that we've been discussing for a long time that maybe computers are just not suited to be market makers.
Well, they seem to do a good job 99% of the time. It's that 1% of the time that concerns us, obviously. Some rogue algorithm, I just don't know why. So basically, for you guys just joining us here, night trading had a rogue algorithm that basically on certain stocks had the sell button pressed down, and on other stocks it had the buy button pressed down, and it actually made some stocks move to ridiculous levels. This one JWF preferred, I know this looks ridiculous on the chart, but this really did happen. It fell 10%. A stock that usually moves 10 cents a day fell over $2.50 yesterday, getting down as low as 22.80 before rallying all the way back up. This was all on this rogue algorithm. So basically, the sell button was just pressed and it was selling in 100 share increments all the way down and for 29 minutes straight. So basically every second it would sell 100 shares 10 times, so about 1,000 shares a second, and there was just too much pressure and it knocked the price down. Then when the algorithm got shut off, then it's obviously started to rebound.
Yeah, average volume in that issue is anywhere from 30 to 50,000. Traded over 5 million
Crazy.
Yesterday. But thank God for some institutions or traders that stepped up to the plate here, because when something like this happens, a lot of people stepped in front of it. They have no guarantees what's going to happen, but boy, that thing came back and only ended up losing a little over 30 cents on the day.
Yeah, there were some institutions. That's what I was saying. If there wouldn't have been nobody else coming to the plate and buying from this probably would have traded down to zero. Not even kidding, because there was just too much selling pressure for a thinly traded issue like this. But there was traders and there was institutional traders. I was seeing big orders coming into the book saying, "Look, we'll buy this thing down there. We don't know exactly what's going on here. Maybe it's a rogue algorithm, maybe it's something, but we'll come up and we'll step up and buy this thing here." And I was seeing traders bid 50,000 shares and then bid another 50,000 shares, and they were just getting pecked away and getting done. And there's some traders that actually made a lot of money on this. I was just seeing this in the book happen, just reading it from the tape. So it appears that there were some traders that actually did make money off of this as well. So some savvy traders made some money, but definitely broken market structure when algorithms are allowed to go on and run rampant for 29 minutes.
Those 50,000 share bids, were they getting pecked away 100 shares
Yeah,
at
exactly.
a time, or were they just lowering them each time?
No, they were just sitting them out there, and then they were getting pecked away because it was hitting the bid. So if it's hitting 1,000 shares a second, after
Okay.
10 seconds you get 10,000 shares. So after 50 seconds you can get filled on that order and went for 29 minutes.
Wow.
So there were some institutions that probably made hundreds of thousands of dollars yesterday in this whole. So if you've got night trading losing probably in the millions of dollars, that money went somewhere, and some savvy institutions probably were the beneficiaries.
Yeah, I've seen some articles that have speculated that Knight didn't lose any money. I think if you want to take a look at the chart of KGC, I think
yeah.
the street would indicate otherwise.
Yeah, I would think the street would indicate otherwise either. They knocked 32% off the market cap of Knight yesterday, so I don't think that's the case. I think Knight probably lost a lot of money here. I just don't understand why they couldn't press the off button. So it's still, obviously we'll have to hear, why, because you'll see rogue algorithms, you'll see stuff like this happen, but it gets shut off after a few seconds. This went on for 29 minutes, so a lot of people were alerted to it after 5 or 10 minutes. Even I was looking, I was like, what is going on here? This is something that's, not normal trading. Something is happening here. And other obviously savvy traders were figuring it out and then trying to buy the stocks or sell the stocks that were rallying, because you had stocks like Verizon that rallied substantially on it. Wells Fargo made a new 52-week high off of it. Just looking yesterday at the action, same type of deal, had this huge spike. Radio Shack spiked up over 13% off of it. You had Abercrombie and Fitch was getting a little bit of a spike off of it as well. And that's funny thing is Abercrombie and Fitch is down today, but we'll get to that in a second. Best Buy got a spike off it. So many stocks here, Joel. Pepsi was selling off of it. So crazy moves. If you made some money off of this, you're a trader. Good for you.
Yeah, I would say to people that don't have much experience with this kind of scenario, I would think would be number one, if you have if something happens like this in a stock that you're trading or a stock that you own, maybe try and profit from it by exiting position. If you had been long, Radio Shack trying to pick a bottom, sure, take this instance. But as far as
putting a new position on,
putting on new
scary.
position, people do it, and that's the way people make a lot of money. By stepping out, but you have to have the deep pockets in order to do that. But first, try and use it as a way to exit a profitable position. But hey, that's yesterday's news. What do we got going on today?
Well, we got lots of movers here again today. Actually, the ECB just had their policy decision at 7:45 Eastern this morning. No real changes there, so the market bounced around a little bit. We were up 3, now we're up 6, so the market is drifting up here a little bit, trading at 1376.50. So I guess the market's okay with the ECB not doing any changes. Obviously, I think it'll be somewhat muted trade today ahead of tomorrow's unemployment data.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just getting so sick and tired of hearing about Draghi and the ECB and Merkel. And the only thing that I really refer to when I look at this is a chart of Deutsche Bank. I mean, if things are so good,
Yeah.
if the situation is solved and, the euro is saved, this and the other thing, wouldn't the stock be rallying? I mean, instead of just within 2 points of a multi-year low?
Yeah, it's just been a terrible year for all of your European banks. These charts still all look broken. I mean, they have bounced off the lows. Some of them are as much as 10% off the lows from Draghi's comments last week. But when you take it into perspective, these things are still significantly off their highs of the year. They've been straight down really since March, and they still don't look that pretty on the charts.
Yeah, and if you look at the bounces when Deutsche Bank has gotten near this level the last 3 or 4 times, I mean, this had some wicked bounces back up into the 40s, even one time back into the 50s, and now we're hitting there, and it's been 4 or 5 days, and this thing hasn't budged much off that 2703 low. It's barely 3 points above that level.
Yeah, up a little bit again today off the ECB decision, so a little bit up, but definitely nothing to get too excited about if you were buying the stock at the beginning of the year. We do have earnings from General Motors out here this morning, and General Motors did.
How much is it down?
How much is it down? It's actually up a little bit, but believe it or not, it's not up as much as it was earlier on. Joel will go find that after hours high or pre-market high for you. They beat handily, 90 cents against estimates of 74. Stock is trading up at $20 right now after closing at 19.96. So we're up about 34 cents here in the pre-market, but we got higher than that, Joe. How high did we get on the pre-market when the numbers came out?
We got up to 20.57.
20.57, and isn't that interesting? Yesterday's high was 20.58. So you're telling us these highs and lows don't work. They do. Keep those in mind when you're trading it. Got right to yesterday's high, turned around and sold off, and if you were savvy enough to realize that there might be some resistance up there at yesterday's high, you were able to pick up possibly a quick 58 cents here.
Yeah, I bet you what a nickel it doesn't see 2057 today.
It may not, but keep that in mind. That is where it's traded to. Ford was up in sympathy just a little bit here, but actually, well, yeah, Ford's still up here. I've got it at 911 right now, so it's up against 904. So it's up a little bit. I don't know why the closest is 919, but 904. So it is trading up a bit here too.
Yeah, if the General Motors, if it now it's just sitting at the area that it broke out from the $20 level. If it could hold 20 here, it could go back up and test, make a real test of this 20 to 2050 area. I mean, I want to be bullish these stocks. It's my hometown, but for this General Motors, it's just such short cover with the government having such a large position in it. It's just so hard for this thing to rally. Such a big short interest. They know they have cover because the government owns like a zillion shares. So I like to be bullish it, but it makes it hard. They know they did have good earnings. Ford just skimming along the bottom here. Just made a recent low at 888. I'd use that as a reference point if you're trying to take a longer term position. Yesterday's high 942 would be your first major resistance
This is
point.
incredible. KCG just updating regarding their August 1st disruption. They're just updating it right now. Check it
Uh-oh!
out. It's down another 20%, $5.18 right now, getting absolutely murdered here in the pre-market.
Uh-oh!
$5, we look like we're going to go under 498. It just traded here. 497. This is going straight down since they just announced. I can't see the numbers there, but they've obviously given some look into
They're
where the
done.
problems
They're
were.
toast.
472. Well, I don't know if they're toast, but this is not good, man. 472. The stock was over $10 at the beginning of yesterday. This is a very, very costly error. There's no doubt about this, and very costly to KCG shareholders. So anybody that speculated they didn't lose money on this, check out the stock. They lost a lot of money off of this. Let's
Okay.
move on. First Solar. Let's talk about some good stuff. First Solar, for once, for all you First Solar bulls who have been bullish since the stocks went from 100 to 10. Well, here's your day to celebrate because the stock's actually up at 1761 right now. They beat on their earnings. They raised guidance, and the stock actually, from this nice base it's formed, is starting to look better. But I mean, if you bought this thing, a year ago here at 150 bucks, you really don't care that it's up $3 today. But it is up for if you bought it yesterday, you're pretty happy though.
Yeah, we actually did hit 1870 in the pre-market, so I will use that as a parameter on the upside. Looking at the daily chart, when you swoop down from over 100 and then you just consolidate this area, it just you feel like the thing's never ever ever gonna go back up. But probably a lot of people short this stock, taking a little bit of heat. I would keep an eye on that after hours high at 1870.
KCG just updated is at $4.23 now. It just made a low, so that is crazy.
What did they say? How much
No,
they
I don't
lose?
have it there because I got to go bounce around, so I don't see it. Just to provide an update here, so I don't have it in front of me. Maybe you can go hunt it down. But Bristol Myers, I just want to keep going with the show here. Bristol Myers actually came out today, suspended the study of their hepatitis C drug, and it is getting rocked on this news. Last time they had worries about the Hep C drug, though, and it sold off and rallied right back. I wonder if it'll do a similar thing. 33.80 or 33.90 it's trading right now. So Bristol Myers is down significantly. And interesting enough, Gilead, which has a competing drug, is actually trading up 5 points on this Bristol Myers news because they're both trying to get the drug to the market the fastest. And if Bristol Myers is slower to get the thing there, then maybe Gilead will win the race. So Gilead is trading up on this Bristol Myers news.
The dip in Bristol Myers went to 33.15. So we've when the news came out, we have popped back up to the $34 area. Looking at the charts, you did have some good support at 34.48. We crushed that. I would use this 33.50 as a number if you've been short the stock for a while. I think looking at the pre-market activity after the spike low, someone's definitely trying to buy a piece here at 33.50. Also this stock hasn't done too bad over the long haul, being down this much on a 250,000 shares in a stock that normally trades 7 million in a day makes me a little skeptical of this down move.
What about Gilead? What do you think of this getting this huge spike off of this news?
Boy, what does it really mean? I mean, does it mean it? I mean, it means something for them. It's better. They're still in the race. If I was along the stock and it was up, $5 on bad news from another company, I'd have to look at it. Perhaps looking for an exit. This doesn't mean that anything's going to come to fruition for them. Obviously, someone agreed with that as after it hit 60.59, this thing is pulled back all the way to 58.41. A lot of real estate on the downside on this, folks. Be careful if you're trying to buy this thing off the open.
Yeah, Knight Capital just saying pursuing alternatives to strengthen capital base, saying clients were not hurt by this, but I don't think anybody likes that statement. They have traded out of all the erroneous positions, so they are out of everything. But I don't think anybody liked that statement that they're seeking alternatives to strengthen their capital base. That means they must have lost a ton of money on this yesterday. It's trading at 410 now, so we'll keep going back as we get updates. Abercrombie and Fitch, we just highlighted earlier that it was affected a little bit by the KCG. I hope some traders sold maybe into that spike because today they are down significantly, 29.20 after lowering guidance. A and F looking ugly on the charts here.
Man, I don't understand these stores. I walk through, you see them in the malls and everything. To me, if I walked in, Abercrombie or Fitch or American Eagle Outfitters, I mean, they all look the same to me. Banana Republic, I just don't see how they all survive. Obviously, the street feels that way too. We hit a spike low at 28.10 in the pre-market. We're bouncing smartly off that. The pre-market high after that's 29.75. I don't think we're going to see this low again at the 28 handle.
KCG saying their capital base is significantly impacted, but they remain in compliance. It's at 380 now. Stock continues to fall here in the pre-market. So I don't think they've said, how much they've lost, but they've obviously lost a ton of money. That's the update on that. Going to tonight's earnings, though, we have LinkedIn reporting here, LNK reporting $97 is trading up a little bit in the pre-market on their ahead of their numbers tonight. What do you think we should expect out of LinkedIn? Is it going to be another Facebook debacle, or are they going to surprise and guide higher?
I don't follow those earnings stuff. All I know is 95.37 was the low yesterday. A few days before that, you had a low at 95.87. So let's call that whole 95.50 a critical level. For you long-term investors, it takes that out. You're going to see $90 or may see $90. On the upside, you got to figure this many trips over 100 and then getting beat back down. Some people may want to exit this thing with triple digits ahead of earnings.
KCG, going back to it one more time, $440 million is what they're reporting that they lost on this. So when I was saying hundreds of millions yesterday, I guess I was right. $440 million is the number that they're reporting that they lost from this algorithm yesterday. That is an ouch for a $1 billion stock. $1 billion company. So they've significantly, basically, cut.
Not a $1 billion company anymore.
Not $1 billion company anymore. It was before this started. So basically, losing half of what the company's worth from one bad algorithm. I bet you have a few investors there are pretty scared that you can have an algorithm go wild and you can lose half your money.
And that's from one company.
From one company, one algorithm, one rogue algorithm, and losing $440 million. What's the low? It got down to 372. It's bounced here. It's at 4, but it got down to 372.
But there's nothing wrong with our market structure or high frequency trading. There's absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, it's good for the market. It provides liquidity.
It provides liquidity. That's always the argument. Well, they were taking liquidity yesterday as they pushed these stocks around, and it was actually probably other algorithms and other investors that were providing the liquidity and actually profiting from that in some cases. But I'm sure there's some traders that lost money on it too. So you just don't want to see stuff like this happen, and hopefully they can put an off switch on their other algorithms. Anyways, just what's your overall thoughts on this unemployment number?
We're getting a little bit of bounce here in the market. Currently trading at 13 near the 1380 handle again. It's just been major resistance every time we've gotten up there. Yesterday we got up there early in the session and came back down. But really have held a tight range this week between 1367.75 and 1387.50. So even with the algos gone wild, we've still have maintained a tight range. I expect just to meander today, probably be unchanged, and we'd have to sell off pretty good to be unchanged. But keep on an eye on 1374.75. That will be my swing number for the day.
And keep an eye on those highs that we set. The high of the move 1387.50. That was set back there just 4 trading sessions ago. So keep an eye on that number as well. If they like the unemployment data tomorrow, maybe we take off from that. But keep an eye. That's your parameters, and it's gonna probably be quiet trade ahead today. I'd expect it to be somewhat quiet. I don't think you're gonna see any rogue algorithms today. So I'd expect it to be quiet ahead of the unemployment data tomorrow.
Okay, that's our show for today, and we'll be back with you tomorrow.